Hey guys, Rob here again. Just thought I'd take this opportunity to have another little discussion about the Adler shotgun, Adler A110. Look, there's been a lot of chatter on the internet and Facebook and all that sort of stuff like that, and people making comparisons that the lever on the Adler A110 is rubbish and it's really difficult to use. And look, I'm a long-time user of lever action firearms. The reason for that is because I'm left-eye dominant. So back in the day, bolt actions like this were extremely expensive to purchase in left-handed. So my only options were pump actions and lever actions. So that's why you see what you see on the table today. And what I wanted to do was make a fair review. A lot of people that do a lot of reviews on firearms, they use the likes of these Tikka T3s and Remington 700s and all these other expensive bolt action firearms, and you cannot make a fair comparison between the likes of this Tikka T3 and an Adler A110. However, I have here a Marlin 44 Magnum and a Browning BLR 308. You can make a fair comparison between these three firearms. So that's what I want to do today. I did actually, before I had this, I previously had an IAC 1887 shotgun with a 5-shot magazine tube, with one in the carrier and one in the chamber, if you wanted to do it that way, which was a 7-shot, funnily enough. And I sold that to get this. It was extremely rough on the knuckles. It was really bad, and it never came good, and it always got stuck because it wasn't actually made for 2 3/4 inch shells. It was only made for 2 3/5 or something like that. So that's why I sold it and got this. So let's just take a look. Now this is a Tikka T3 bolt action, and you can see, look, that is very easy to operate. Okay, it'll slide in under its own weight. Very, very smooth. I mean, the only thing that's really going to be smooth than that, and look, people are going to yell at me, whatever, I really don't care. The Seiko is probably the only thing that's going to be smoother to operate than this. But however, once you put a magazine in here and you've got a shell in there and you're pushing one through, it does actually stiffen up a bit, because now you've got a bit of pressure from underneath and some rubbing from the cartridge rubbing on the other cartridge, and it's coming up and all that sort of stuff like that. And it does become more difficult. However, it's still extremely glossy, still extremely smooth to use. So, but I can't make a comparison between this and this, but that's what people do. So let's have a look at this here. This is a Marlin 44 Magnum. It's really old. I mean, when I bought it, the handle had been snapped off and screwed together with these 2 screws. Not sure if you can see that there. And look, it's probably had thousands of rounds through it. I mean, you can see the original figure 8's been lost, and it's you know, there's stuff there bending and all that sort of stuff like that. I did have a red dot on top of it because when I got it, it had a 3 to 9 times, which was horrible for the sort of hunting that I was doing, close range and all that sort of stuff like that. Now, it is so old that this gate here is worn to a really sharp point, and in a rush when you're trying to fill the magazine tube, I've cut the corner of my thumb off probably 3 or 4 times. And look, it is very, very glossy, very easy. When you've got the shells in there, obviously it's a little bit harder to operate, but not much more. And you can see, now one thing I want to point out is it feels like it's got 2 stages, just like the Adler. You've got the initial bit and you've got the second bit. Once you get past the initial bit, it becomes very easy. That's not been slicked as far as I'm aware. I don't believe it's ever been used for cowboy action and been slicked up. I do believe that is a completely stock firearm. It's very nice to use, very smooth, and I would consider that a very nice lever action firearm. This is the Adler A110, and I can tell you now, it is not much more difficult to use than that. It is, you can see there that, yes, it has that step there, but guess what? So does this one, okay? If I pull the pin, you dry fire it, whatever, who cares, right? That's not much more difficult whether the pin's being pulled or not, okay? It's not much more difficult than this one here, okay? That is a little bit smoother. If I pull the hammer back, it's a little bit smoother, but not much. There's not much in that, okay? Let's see that again, right? And that's my left hand, right? That's the back of my left hand, back of my knuckles, okay? But now let's look at this. This is a Browning BLR in 308. This is brand new, unfired. I won this from Bore It Up here from Winchester. Thank you very much, Winchester. I appreciate it. All I did was submit an article, and they printed it, and I won this firearm. And I've not used this yet because I didn't need the firearm, so I didn't need to go and use it or anything like that. But one thing I will tell you, this is a premium lever action firearm. This is a budget firearm, this is a budget firearm, this is a Tikka T3. It is much stiffer, okay? This is much more horrible. Look at that, look at the force I'm having to use to operate that. That is terrible. And you'll see, look at that. There's your first bit, there's your second bit, okay? Anyone that's going to tell me that this is a horrible lever has never experienced lever actions. This is a premium lever action. Look at that. Yeah, probably if I use it a bit more, it's probably going to come a bit better. But that is horrible. That's hurting my fingers. You know, that's once you got that hammer down, and that's without shells in there. Imagine by the time I put some shells in there, that's gonna be stiff, right? When I put some shells in there, that does get a bit stiffer. This one gets a tiny bit stiffer, but that's horrible, right? So I'm telling you now, as someone who uses lever action firearms, and I have ever since day one, this is a good lever action. Whether it's better than a Pardus or not, I don't know. Okay, and people are going to tell you that it's better. I've seen it on YouTube, blah blah blah. You can't make those comments, okay? Just say you want one because you want one. Once one's in the country and people have compared it, this one to the other one, then fair enough. Whatever commentary comes is what comes. But until then, I'm telling you now, this is a fantastic shotgun. This is a fantastic lever action. It's much better than the IAC I had. Anyone that tells you that a Chippewa or a Winchester is better than this, you know, it's not even a good comparison because you have to go and get work done to make it anywhere near what this is straight out of the box. You know, it was going to cost me, I think, about, I don't know, $300 by the time I sent it to the gunsmith and get it repaired and then send it back and pay for the shipping and all that sort of stuff like that. I think if you want a shotgun with more than 2 magazine capacity or 2 capacity, this is a fantastic piece of equipment. The lever is extremely smooth to use, right? Much smoother than this BLR, not much rougher than this 44 Magnum. That's a fair review. That's a fair comparison. If anyone wants to make any comments, that's fantastic, that's fine. But I can tell you now that that's a reasonable lever. There's not much more to say. All right, guys, well, that's it. That's all I'm going to do for tonight. And if you've got any other videos you want to see me do, just put it in the comments, let me know, whatever. You know, I'm not here to make money from YouTube. I'm just here to help out us local guys that want to use these types of firearms because obviously we're pretty much the only other country except for Canada now that are using this type of firearm. So we can only look to ourselves to get improvements and information and how-tos and all that sort of stuff like that. So I'm not a gunsmith, but I'll certainly have a crack and maybe you guys can have a crack too. Okay guys, till next time, see you later. Have a good one.